Okay, Chiori has to be one of the most fashionable queens we've had in Genshin because look at this. I mean, look at this. Like, genuinely look at these shots. Sorry, I was distracted. YouTube, it's Tuna here. I was just admiring how popular and spectacular this amazing new character has influenced design in many regions in Teyvat. Since her goal is to rule the fashion world, I will gladly follow her to the end. Her design for Linny and Lynette, but also Kirara and Navia's outfits were spectacular. Chiori is our new Geo Sword character that reigns from Inazuma that got introduced in the story in version 4.3. She's Ayaka's childhood friend and a fashion designer from a very early age. However, when she grew up, she wanted to become a designer for all of Teyvat, therefore setting sail and landing her mark and fame in Fontaine. But enough about lore, let's get to the guide. I will be talking about her kit explanation, weapon choices, artifact recommendations, how to play her in her team comps, and most importantly, should you pull for free to play. So grab your most dripped out designer wear, sit back, and let's go and enjoy some Chiori facts. Chiori is a Geo sub DPS sword user that does the most damage from her skill. Her normal attack called Weaving Blade performs up to 4 attacks that deals physical damage. Her charge attack consumes a certain amount of stamina and performs an attack that deals physical damage as well. Her skill called Fluttering Hasode allows Chiori to dash forward, striking an opponent dealing Geo damage and summoning her automaton doll called Tomato. Tomato deals AoE Geo damage to nearby opponents based on Chiori's attack and defense. If there are active Geo constructs on the field, Chiori will summon an additional Tomato. Her hold skill behaves differently. When holding Chiori's skill, she goes into aiming mode and adjusts the dash direction. This aiming mode is exactly the same as Kaching and Alhaitham's. When activating Chiori's passive talent Tailor Made, it provides Chiori's skill different abilities after using her skill. If you press her normal attack after the elemental skill, it will provide the tailoring effect, allowing Chiori Geo-infused damage for a few seconds. If you press the elemental skill again, it will provide the tapestry effect. This effect will switch to the next character in your party and grant all members the seize the moment effect. When your active party member performs normal attacks, charge attacks, and plunging attacks on a nearby opponent, Tomato will perform a coordinated attack dealing AoE Geo damage that is considered an elemental skill damage. The seize the moment effect will only last for 8 seconds and 1 Tomato can use this attack. However, you can only trigger 2 Tomato attacks during the Seize the Moment effect. One additional note to the skill effect, if you decide to just not trigger any of these effects, the tailoring effect, which is the Geo infused, will automatically be triggered. Now that the supposed complicated part of her kit is explained, her burst called Hyoku Twin Blade deals a huge AoE Geo damage based on her attack and defense. Extremely simple, right? It has low energy cost and deals huge damage. One passive talent she has is called Brocaded Collar's Beauteous Silhouette. That is a very long name, but I'm pretty sure I said the beauty part wrong. But anyways, when any party member wears a non-default skin or glider, they will obtain the Swift Stride effect that allows increased movement speed. Her other passive talent, the Finishing Touch, gives Chiori a 20% Geo damage bonus for 20 seconds when a nearby party member creates a Geo construct. Of course, Chiori's signature weapon Uraku Misugiri is her best in slot. It provides elemental skill damage buffs and defense buffs. If a nearby Geo character deals Geo damage, these buffs increase even more. One part of this passive provides her increased normal attack, but you won't get that max potential of this until you get her to C6. Unfortunately, the other 5-star weapons don't have passives Chiori's can benefit the most out of, so using these swords as a stat stick is the next best option. Crit weapons such as the Mist Splitter Reforge and Primordial Jade Cutter I would say are next in line to be great. If you want to match Uraku Misugiri's crit damage percentage, then Light of Foliar Incision or Splendor of Tranquil Waters would help with that. Light of Foliar's passive does not benefit Chiori at all since it's based on elemental mastery, but Splendor of Tranquil Waters is decent if you have Farina on the team. Of course, Farina should be the one running this weapon, but if you use Farina solely to apply Hydro, and Chiori for the Geo sub DPS damage, then Tranquil Waters will benefit from the skill damage buffs. For 4-star weapons, Cinnabar Spindle, Albedo's signature weapon, is the best for her. Although it does not provide crit, it gives skill damage and huge defense buffs. Sadly, the 4-star weapons are limited as a free-to-play for Chiori, but here are some you can utilize. Wolffang provides increased skill and burst damage, but also provides crit rate when using them. Finale of the Deep provides huge attack buffs when using an elemental skill. Festering Desire provides energy recharge for Chiori to always get her burst back, but most importantly provides elemental skill buffs. I won't go into too much detail on other weapons, but Floof Sender Ferryman and crit weapons such as Black Sword and Black Hip Longsword are decent. For 3-star weapons, Harbinger of Dawn is an amazing stat stick for an off-field DPS like Chiori where she will not be taking any damage. You unfortunately cannot run Furina with her if you are using this weapon. And lastly, if you need a defense boost, the Traveler's Handy Sword is great for that. Here's my overall summary of recommendations for her weapons. Thankfully, Chiori's artifact recommendations are simple. Since she is based on skill damage, the 4-piece Golden Troop is great for her. This set unfortunately will not benefit from burst and normal attack damage. If you need a set that can benefit all of her kit, the 4-piece Husk of Opulent Dreams will do that for you. This set works well with mono Geo teams or teams that involve characters that buff defense or Geo based damage such as Goro. I would recommend the Husk of Opulent Dreams over Golden Troop due to Chiori's team based solely mono to semi-mono Geo. When it comes down to main stats, you mainly want to run a defense Sans, but if you are unable to, an attack Sans would be your second best in slot. The reason you want to rely on defense on Chiori over attack is because her team is mainly mono Geo. Mono Geo buffs are based on defense, and if she's an attack based team, attack buff characters will aid with the diminished return. For the Goblet, you mainly want to run a Geo damage bonus, and for the Circlet, provide her with a crit rate or crit damage Circlet. Of course, if you are going to run her signature weapon, I would highly recommend running a crit rate Circlet. For substats, make sure to focus on crit stats, defense percentage, attack percentage, and energy recharge in that order. When it comes down to overall stats, here's what I would recommend. Many people think it is great to have a 1-to-2 ratio, but I do not. A 1-to-3 ratio is the best, so for crit, provide Chiori with around 65% crit rate and around 195% crit damage. For defense, I would highly recommend around 2100 to 2300 defense, and for attack, 1100 to 1500 attack is best for her. Since Chiori's burst only costs 50, you will only need around 120 to 130% energy recharge. When upgrading her talents, you first want to prioritize upgrading her skill because obvious reasons. Next, you want to upgrade her burst talent, and lastly, normal attack talent. For C6 Chiori, she plays a little bit differently where the normal attack talent should be prioritized more than the other two, but this is a free to play guide, so anyways. When knowing how to play Chiori, she is extremely simple. You practically just want to swap out to Chiori whenever you want to utilize her burst or elemental skill. Of course, if you want to utilize her quick swap ability, then make sure to activate your support buffs beforehand before switching to Chiori. As a free to play, you want to swap to your DPS right away and always have your rotations up. Utilizing her normal attack, even if infused, is a waste of time. She is meant for quick swap and not to appear on the field for long. Her dolls will not follow you around, so be careful where you drag your opponents and activate your Geo constructs. For her burst, it is a circular AoE motion, so make sure to utilize the opportunity to approach a spot where she can hit most to all of your opponents. If you want to play Chiori in a mono Geo team, having a main DPS such as Ito, Navia, or Noelle, and her as a sub DPS is required. Then utilizing supports such as Goro, Bennett, or Furina, and Zhongli for a Geo construct is a great second half to have. Ningguang is also another great option, providing a Geo construct and Geo buffs for this team as well. Vague teams such as double Geos such as Hu Tao, Yelan or Xingqiu, and Chiori and Zhongli is also an amazing team. If you want to capitalize her normal attack damage, you can make Chiori the main DPS and have Yunjin as your normal attack buff, and adding more support such as Goro, Furina, Bennett is also a good option. I still wouldn't recommend normal attack Chiori since she can only maximize the damage until C6. Lastly, aggravate teams are also pretty decent to utilize as well. I preferably like playing the Alhaitham double sub DPS combo Yaimiko and Chiori than having Zhongli for the construct and shield. Now, should you pull for Chiori's weapon or pull for her C1? Looking at her C1, it provides a bigger range for her Tomato's AoE hit by 50%. It also provides you 2 Tomatoes after using an elemental skill when there is an additional Geo party member, meaning you do not need a Geo construct active on the field. Lastly, after using your elemental skill, it will automatically trigger the passive The Finishing Touch that allows Chiori a 20% Geo damage bonus, so debating over the two is based on preference. If you need a crit, defense, and already utilize another Geo party member that provides a Geo construct, then Uraku Misugiri is necessary. If you don't need the following, then C1 is great for more flexibility for teams she can play with. Now the real question for free-to-play players is, should you pull? If you are a mono Geo main, then yes, she is great for that. Her damage output is already better than Albedo's by a mile, and her defense attack scaling allows her to be amazing in many team comps. But overall, I would not recommend her. Right now, Geo is fairly underrated, but also underwhelming to elements such as Hydro and Geo Electro. But also, she is in a phase where characters such as Nuvolette and Kazuha are having a banner in Phase 2, and Arlecchino is having a banner in 4.6 with a rerun of Furina as well. This banner is also extremely underwhelming. They even added Dori to add salt to the wound. So I wouldn't say not pull for Chiori, I would say don't pull for Chiori right now. But in all fairness, pull for whoever you want and play how you want to play. So this is all for what you need to know about Chiori as a free-to-play. Hopefully I was able to help with how to build Chiori and alleviate your concerns if you want to pull for her or not. If you want more guides like these, make sure to like and hit that subscribe button. It would really help the channel out. If you need more questions or see some of my gameplay, I stream on Twitch as well. But other than that, enjoy your Chiori and I will see you when Arlecchino comes out. I'm so excited for her, but her kit seems very complicated, so wish me luck. See you next time and stay safe out there.